Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the International Academy West Campus Commencement. My name is Ryan Parrott. I am the Associate Principal, and I'm also your host this evening. Before we begin, I have a couple requests. If you could silent all cell phones for the remainder of the ceremony, put all cell phones on silent. Additionally, we have a team of professional photographers taking many photos and video this evening. So if you could resist coming off the bleachers or coming up to the stage for photos, we would greatly appreciate it. It is now my honor to present to you district representatives and the faculty of the International Academy, followed by the class of 2021. To begin our program this evening, I would like to invite Noor Najib and Hannah Kaur to the stage to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed immediately by the National Anthem sung by the Lakeland and IA West Bluebird Ensemble, led by Dr. Jeffrey Nelson.
ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is my pleasure to introduce the principal of the International Academy, Miss Lynn Gibson.
Good evening, class of 2021. This is an exciting night on so many different levels. It is my honor to celebrate your in-person graduation from the International Academy and recognize the commencement of your next life. Graduation is a celebration of all that you have accomplished during your high school experience, and certainly a recognition of what is yet to come. At a time of national and global challenge, the most has been asked of all of us, and the opportunity for personal growth and community contribution ever the greater. All of you have found strength and courage in different ways during your 4-year experience at the International Academy. Among the noteworthy accomplishments, I would like to acknowledge an unprecedented academic accomplishment for several of you. Typically, each year at our West Campus, we have 1, maybe 2 valedictorians and 1 salutatorian. For the first time ever in our history at the West Campus, we are very proud to celebrate 7 valedictorians and 3 salutatorians. This year, as I considered what to highlight at graduation, I thought it would be especially meaningful to build on the International Baccalaureate's Theory of Knowledge course. For our families who are unfamiliar with this IB course, it is a classroom experience all of our students engage in during both the junior and the senior year, where they focus on understanding how we know what we know. During one of our tri-campus staff professional development discussions this spring, our Theory of Knowledge teachers talked about the different ways that they incorporate TOK, into the specific course discipline they teach. One of our history teachers talked about how he discusses the difference between everything that has ever happened in the past and the recorded past. The recorded past often being what is remembered and shared well into the future. So this got me thinking about our graduating seniors' journey at the International Academy. We know that the COVID pandemic will certainly be recorded through many sources, but some of the moments unique to your class might not be. Therefore, I invited our teachers to help create a recorded history of your IA journey, and I'm going to share that with you. Your counselor, Mrs. Piagentini, shared that the class of 2021 impressed her from the start. She said the class is made up of students who are always willing to volunteer for orientation, middle school visits, peer mentoring, and tutoring. Mrs. Piagentini can't remember a previous year when such a large group of enthusiastic and kind-hearted students wanted to be involved in our community from day one. Mrs. Milani added something similar, saying that the class of 2021 is a very friendly, caring group of students, and that you are a great class to mentor a prospective IA West student for the day. She could randomly choose any student and knew that the shadow was going to have a great day at the IA. One of our interdisciplinary teachers, Mrs. Heffelbauer, said, whether it was facing our own assumptions and internalized biases while discussing fake checks made out to Tony Spagoni, or realizing that it wasn't just the straw, but at least 10 additional underlying and contributing factors that led to the death of beloved Alphonse the camel, over the last 4 years, you have grown in your ability to pay attention to the details around you and to make thoughtful and reasoned conclusions. And you've done it with laughter and care. You laughed at yourselves and found sympathetic ways to talk about Frank the camel killer. You stopped yourselves mid-sentence and asked your peers to back up their claims with evidence. You learned a lot of history along the way, but that was not the most important part. You may not always remember our favorite 6-year-old Emperor Puyi, but you will always think twice about accepting the easy or quick answer, because that is what you were really learning to do all along. In French class, Ms. Webster said that you remained positive, diligent, mature, and very kind throughout the changes in your French classes. In your book, she said you endured the battle of creating a top-notch yearbook this past year when many of you remained virtual. To accomplish this task, in-person students took pictures for those who were unable to do so. It was truly a team effort. Mr. Weaver also shared a couple of experiences he had with you in economics and mathematics. He said, in 9th grade econ, we learned that scarcity is always the answer until it's not. He also said that you discovered how unique your classmates are when they gave presentations on space cruises, heated butter knives, and Siberian Agriculture Compound Corporation for your business projects. In 11th grade DP Math Apps, Mr. Weaver highlighted that you learned how helpful Desmos activities and Delta Math could be, even if they were a bit glitchy at times. And of course, there is DP Economics, where you learned that no matter the format, a passionate diatribe will inevitably take up a good chunk of time every class. Mr. Weaver asks that you remember the sense of accomplishment and camaraderie that resulted from coming together as a class and getting 100% on a tough Sporkle quiz. Mr. Greenblatt shared the following, and I quote, as I often said in DP1 History and Government last year, everything we do is a process. You came in as amateur scholars, but left with authentic skills used by historians and critical thinkers. You were able to become experts on certain areas of study that you were not at all familiar with, from the intricacies of the Mexican economic miracle to the debate over health care, all because you trusted the process. Mr. Greenblatt says to keep sharpening these tools and focus on what the journey can teach you about yourself, others, and our wider world. Mr. Hawkins has this to share with you, and again, I'm quoting him. Today has been surreal for me, as I remember being exactly in your shoes at the IA a few years ago. You have an immense amount of growth ahead of you, with experiences and challenges beyond your imagination. And as a fellow IA grad, I am so very excited to see how you face this. Coming back to the IA in January and teaching this last semester of Spanish was definitely a daunting task, but your commitment to practicing your reading, writing, and conversation skills made this a smooth semester for Mrs. Saylor and for me. We've enjoyed getting to know you just in the past 4 months and know you will keep using your Spanish even when you least expect it. A special shout out, he says, goes to my Ab Initio Spanish seniors who worked especially hard to prepare for IB exams we didn't know they would be taking, some of whom would come to visit me during their product team, either for extra help with Spanish, thoughts on exams, or just general life advice. As Mr. Hawkins leaves the IA once again, he said he will keep all of these memories and stories with him, and that you have made this a teaching experience for which he is deeply thankful. I should mention that we will certainly welcome Mr. Hawkins back to our community at any time, and we wish him only the best as he pursues his graduate studies at Harvard this fall. And finally, Mrs. Convery, your English teacher and senior advisor, remembers one of your final events at the IA. She said that while this experience is a recent event in the historical record, it was a special one. Mrs. Convery shared that in the midst of a season of canceled and altered culminating events, and after over a year of pandemic life, the senior class came together on their last day of school to watch the sunrise. It was cold but lovely. And it was such a pleasure to see so many of them there, willing to wake up early and trek out into the frosty dew to be together one last time. Many of the virtual students were even able to be there. It was a great visual of the way these students have responded to adverse circumstances by adapting and working together. So students, as you reflect on what your teachers have shared and move forward to the next stage of your life's adventure, I ask you to focus on what was memorable for your teachers' experiences with you. Your teachers shared their individual perspectives with a common message, that you are enthusiastic, you are full of care, and you are intensely engaged. As you embark on the next chapter of your life, earnestly choose to see the world through a hopeful lens and be committed to speaking and acting in a way that celebrates your own voice, guided by the IB's mission to create a better and more peaceful world. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Gibson. Now, I would like to introduce the students who will deliver the class address, Rebecca Kobielus and Gabriel Shemem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rebecca Kobielus, and I'm so excited to be here celebrating the IA West class of 2021. To begin, I would like to start off with a few thank yous. First, thank you all for being here today to celebrate with us, and also thank you to the superintendents of the Huron Valley and South Lyon School Districts, Dr. Salah and Mr. Archibald, for joining us today and for always supporting our school. Next, I want to thank our incredible IA West teachers and administrators who, for the record, are some of the best teachers and staff I have ever met. Thank you for your dedication and kindness. Whether you were assuring us that we would not fail our IB exams, answering our questions after class, or just talking with us, you always made sure that we felt supported both in and out of the classroom. You have made a huge impact on our lives, and we appreciate you more than you know. Also, thank you to my classmates for making these 4 years so memorable and always being there to lend a helping hand to each other. I know I definitely appreciated all of those shared final exam study guides. And last, thank you to our families and friends for the support you have given us over the past 4 years. Thank you for driving us to school and practices, helping us with homework, celebrating our accomplishments, and helping us to learn from our failures. We could not have done this without you, especially during a year like this. And the truth is, this year has been nothing short of crazy. Some would even describe it as unprecedented. Unprecedented. It's a word we've heard over and over again, probably because it seems as though it's the only word that encompasses the entire experience of living through a pandemic, constant unknowns. Every day this year, we've sat and asked ourselves what in the world is going to happen next, and many times we realize the answer is we aren't sure. As humans, we want to know anything and everything. We like to plan for the future, which makes the unknown a very scary thing. But what if we were to stop looking at the unknown as this fear-inducing, nerve-wracking presence and instead saw it as something else? You know how when you're reading a book and you don't know what's going to happen next, but you're so drawn in that you just can't put it down? I know we all know because we had to read Things Fall Apart, really great one. But right then, when you are drawn in by the book, you are being pulled by the unknown of that story. So then, why don't we let ourselves be pulled into the unknown of the story that is our lives? That unknown is actually an exciting thing. Think about it. Yes, you have no idea what the future holds, but can't you not wait to see what happens next? I don't know about all of you, but I was terrified by the unknowns that came with going to the IA as a freshman, so much so that I cried literally every single day the first 2 weeks of school. Then we made it through the first 2 years, and all of a sudden they started talking about IB exams, and I got scared all over again. But look at how much good came from those unknowns. We've hopefully learned, we've grown, and we've become better people. And so much of that is thanks to our incredible teachers, administrators, and families. But now as we graduate and move into the next chapter of our story, we are faced with new unknowns. Whether you're going to college, joining the military, entering the workforce, or traveling the world, we all have unknowns staring back at us. And that's okay. Each day will have its unknowns. But if we walk through life with the attitude that not knowing is an exciting opportunity, think about how much happier we'll be, how much less we'll worry, and how much more we'll be able to enjoy what is truly right in front of us. So although I am incredibly sad to be leaving behind the IA, I'm looking forward to the future, and I hope you all are too. We've made so many memories together, especially during our unconventional and unique senior year. And even though this year was different, it was also super special. I'm wishing you all the best in the years to come and can't wait to see what the future holds. There are a lot of things that I don't know, but what I do know is that all of you will do incredible things as we embark into the unknown of our lives. Congratulations to the IA West class of 2021.
That was great. 4 years, 1,461 days, 35,061 hours. This is the amount of time that my fellow classmates and I have spent at school here in the International Academy. Today is the day that we look back on those 4 years and congratulate ourselves on our achievements, because we did not give up. We showed strength, dedication, perseverance, and cooperation skills at a time when these skills were most needed. My fellow classmates, pat yourselves on the back. You've earned it. Parents or family members of the students, we congratulate you for your dedication, support, and for putting up with us. Staff, thank you for your hard work, patience, and understanding during our time at IA and especially during these times. We are here today because we adapted like an apex predator. We were given completely different conditions than we were used to, and we came out on top. I see each and every one of us becoming strong, intelligent, independent people in the future. When I was looking at everyone's college's choice and major, I thought to myself, my class will be the difference maker in the future. Words can't describe how grateful I am to have experienced high school with this great group of people. All of us know about change, and we've watched each other grow in many ways. An example of physical growth would be Alec Zerona and me. Alec and I may have been the two shortest freshmen during our 9th grade year, but my voice sounded like a 10-year-old. Today, Alec and I are here looking like full-fledged adults, and I'm pretty sure he might be growing a beard under that chin of his. We've also grown intellectually and matured during our time at the IA. The growth has shown through the understanding of concepts and emotions and the participation in class and in the community. Every one of us has grown at IA and has become a better person throughout the 4 years we've spent together. It gives me confidence that I'm graduating with this class. I think that our class has an overall bond of friendship, and we have worked together to get where we are today. They say the strongest friend groups are the ones where you can't identify a leader. And I think that best describes the IA West class of 2021. Although I'll be missing all my classmates, I think there will always be a bond of friendship. Greatness will be with us wherever we may find ourselves. We have received a robust education at the IA, but the greatest thing we were taught was that hard work, cooperation, and spirit make you become one of the greats in any field. My fellow classmates, I have one word left to say to you all: Godspeed.
I would like to reintroduce Ms. Gibson to present the class of 2021 to the consortium district members.
Would our prospective graduates please rise? The 349 members of the class of 2021, 76 of whom are here at West, have met or exceeded the International Academy's graduation requirements. These requirements include 32.5 academic credits, at least 6 enrichments, including a career mentorship, and 4 unique product teams. In addition, each student has fully participated in the International Baccalaureate program, which includes 6 externally assessed courses, many hours devoted to creativity, activity, and community service, a 4,000-word research essay, a course in the theory of knowledge, and over the last 3 weeks, 20+ hours of examinations. In addition, 3% of the tri-campus class are National Merit Scholars, including finalists, semifinalists, and commended. Excluding loans, our students across our campuses have been awarded approximately $18,889,281 in scholarships. Yeah. Over the last 2 years, they have performed a combined 17,350 hours of community service. They have also taken 4,106 exams in 25 subject areas and levels, completed over 6,197.5 hours of exam time, had an average exam time load of 17.5 hours. There were 2,410 internal assessments in 19 different subjects. Visual arts students completed 76 exhibitions and portfolios with work focused on a theme of their choosing. To the representatives of the consortium districts, on behalf of the complete IA staff, I present for your acceptance the class of 2021.
To accept the class of 2021 on behalf of all member districts, Dr. Paul Salah, Superintendent of Huron Valley Schools.
Thank you. Good evening. On behalf of the superintendents and school boards of the International Academy Consortium School Districts of Avondale, Berkeley, Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, Clawson, Huron Valley, Lake Orion, Rochester, Royal Oak, South Lyon, Troy, Waterford, and West Bloomfield, it is my distinct pleasure to accept for graduation the students of the class of 2021 and further grant to each an International Academy diploma as recommended by the International Academy and endorsed by the respective districts. Congratulations, graduates of 2021.
Families. Now, this is the exciting time where students will begin to come across the stage and receive their diploma cover. I just want to mention we are asking that families hold off on cheering until all students from each respective district have been introduced. Now representing the South Lyon Community School District is Superintendent Stephen Archibald and Board President Craig Dashner. What's that? Students are coming up. Yep. So we're coming over here. So if you guys could come over here, we're going to receive their diploma cover, and then come over here and be congratulated by you. So, yep.
Anitaj Bhaskar.
Mahita Chandra Gundlar.
Guyun Kim.
Swaraj Kokatam.
Abigail Renee Atawash.
Zwin T. Avalone.
Anthony Ashton Uwad.
Those were the graduates from South Lyon Community Schools, so you may applaud at this time. Yep. Now representing the Huron Valley Schools is Superintendent Dr. Paul Salah and School Board Representatives, Board President Tom Wiseman, Board Vice President Sean Carlson, Board Secretary Denise Forrest, and Board Trustee Laura Dodd. Will the graduates from Huron Valley Schools please come forward?
Anthony Ashton Awad.
Cecilia Elise Green Barr.
Kayla Isabel Bello.
Ricardo Beltran Rodriguez.
Samantha Jace Berg.
Kyle John Bessanen.
Rachana Bandawad.
Nemea Harem Bat.
Ashley Lynn Bojanowski.
Noah Nathaniel Brinker.
Asha Baus Chawanek.
Rodrigo Contreras.
Alexander William Cooper.
Caitlin Audra Cuthrell.
Zoe Morrissey Cutting.
Rachel Rose DeClerc.
Claire Elise Enyart.
Amber Marie Evans.
Delina Mary Faju.
Ellie Grace Forbes.
Anil James Gahir.
Rishika Varma Gadamakala.
Owen Thomas Gray.
Alyssa Lee Hagan.
Daniel Heller.
Toma Patrick Hentis.
Ava Hootsie.
Joshua Soichi Izuka.
Alicia Kapoor.
Sophia Roshan Kasi.
Hannah Suyan Kaur.
Leah Marie Kidder.
Rebecca Rose Kobielus.
Isabella Kuyohe.
Kevin James Krill.
Jack Thomas Lynn.
Elnora Martha Lunga.
Camila Martinez. Felipe Martinez.
Yusuf Ayad Mahdi.
Olivia Vienne Mitchell.
Noor Arfin Najib.
Pranav Narayanan.
Johan Nathaniel Orozco.
Rowan Thomas Patrick.
Samantha Diane Peterson.
Nicholas Nasir Puta.
Sarah Ann Prell.
Rania Sinan Mohammed Kadu.
Aaron Mark Rushton.
Zachary Robert Schnell.
Gabriel Angelo Sheeman.
Emily London Shanahan.
Mariah Ann Shaver.
Katerina Skarakis.
Cameron Matthew Slicker.
Austin Michael Smith. Lauren Nicole Spano.
Grace Gail Spicer.
Daniel Edward Stebbins.
Zachary Charles Swartz.
Ella Zerlong.
Logan James Thompson.
Anna Catherine Van Ness.
Lucas Gabriel Venegas Cabrera.
Tatiana Isabel Verville.
Thomas Anthony Girolamo Vitale.
Michael Richard Warner.
Kayla Mo Wayner.
Alec Christopher Zerona.
Those are the candidates from Huron Valley Schools. You may applaud. I do want to recognize a few people about tonight's ceremony. The ceremony would not have been possible without the hard work of our commencement coordinators, Bridget Piagentini and Julie Barron. So. Let's also take a moment to recognize this year's senior class advisory, Miss Maureen Convery. I would also like to recognize and thank the Lakeland Wind Ensemble and Mr. Robert Green for providing the music this evening. We are going to take a moment to allow for the remainders of the students to take a photo, but it is now my pleasure after that to introduce our IB coordinator, Ms. Joanne Juco, to give her closing remarks.
Good evening, students, families, and esteemed guests. Today we are not only celebrating earning your high school diploma, but we're celebrating the culmination of your international baccalaureate education. Over the past 4 years, you've persevered through challenging tests, projects, extended essays, exams, and oral examinations. Every subject you've studied has played an important role in shaping you into the well-rounded student you've become. A principled, knowledgeable scholar who's truly ready for the exciting challenges ahead. I have no doubt that the class of 2021 is going to positively influence the world, and that your journey is just beginning. We are immensely proud of all of your hard work, and we wish you tremendous success as you venture into the new paths of life. Will the class of 2021 please rise and turn? Now, let us celebrate your graduation as you move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, graduates.
It's in here. I'll get it after. No. We discussed it about throwing it upward and not projectile towards people, so I do appreciate the hat toss, everyone. That was a great job. Families, at this time, I do ask that you remain seated until all faculty and graduates have exited the room. On behalf of the entire International Academy community and our member districts, I would like to thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the achievements of this outstanding class. At this time, Ms. Gibson will lead staff and students out into the atrium area and in front of the building. Families, if you would like to gather with your students outside of the building in front of the main entrance, that would be a fantastic spot. So thank you for coming this evening.